Power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't kick in the door or raise its voice. It slips into the room, watches in silence, and strikes when the timing is perfect. That's the kind of world you live in, even if you don't see it yet. Let me ask you a question. Do you really know who's loyal to you? Not the ones who clap when you win. Not the ones who say all the right things. I mean the ones who'd take a bullet for you when no one's watching. The ones who don't disappear the moment the spotlight dims. In 1503, there was a man named Cesare Borgia, known in whispers as Cesare Borgia. He was Italy's most feared military commander, a living, breathing force of nature. Machiavelli studied him, admired him, and called him the model of the perfect ruler. By 1507, he was dead in a ditch. Not because he was weak, but because he trusted the wrong hands. And in this game, the right hands turn cold without warning. That's the world Machiavelli understood. Not a world of fairy tales, but one of survival, manipulation, silence, and shadow. And if you want to thrive in this world, you need to understand one thing. Perception is deadlier than truth. Today, I'm not going to give you the watered-down quotes you've seen on Instagram. I'm going to show you what the prince truly was. A survival manual for those who walk among wolves. You'll hear stories you were never taught. Strategies that make people afraid of what you might do, not what you've done. Psychological warfare, disguised as charm. Calculated silence, mistaken for submission. You'll learn why the loudest voice in the room holds the least power, and why the most dangerous person often says the least. By the time this video ends, you won't just understand power. You'll see it, smell it, and know how to move through it like a shadow no one can catch. This is the art of being untouchable, and it starts now. Do you know what happened to Cesare Borgia? In 1503, he was the most feared man in Italy, a military commander, a duke, Machiavelli's ideal prince. By 1507, he was dead in a ditch, betrayed by allies he trusted. They never warn you before they betray you. They smile, they shake your hand, and they wait for the perfect moment to strike. Welcome to the real world. A world where perception is deadlier than reality. Today, I'm going to show you what Machiavelli truly meant when he wrote The Prince. Not the watered-down version they teach in schools, but the raw, unfiltered blueprint that's guided the world's most powerful figures for 500 years. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll walk into any room with new eyes, and no one will ever blindside you again. The illusion of strength. Let me tell you about Michael. Harvard-educated, brilliant, rising star. Everyone loved him. Then one day, in a meeting, he admitted, "I'm struggling with a major project. I could really use some help." 2 months later, he was gone, pushed out, not by enemies, but by supportive colleagues like Sarah, who had quietly told the execs he couldn't handle pressure. You don't have to be broken to be destroyed. You just have to look breakable. Machiavelli didn't survive by being strong. He survived by appearing untouchable. Rule 1. Never bleed in front of wolves. Even if you're dying inside, make them believe you're ready to kill. Because they don't attack you because you're weak. They attack because you look weak. The power of perception. When I was 27, my first business was collapsing. 347 in my bank account. investors fleeing, partners panicking. But every morning, I wore my best suit, spoke about our future like success was guaranteed. One investor later said, "I was going to pull out until I saw how calm you were when everything was burning." That day, he doubled down. Perception created reality. That's not just philosophy. It's a weapon, a survival strategy. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you truly are. So remember, no public struggle, no crying on social media, no complaining to people who don't need to know. Suffer in silence. Because every time you show weakness, someone is watching and calculating. The silence that commands. Who's the most powerful person in the room? It's rarely the one talking the most. During WWI, Stalin would sit silently at Allied conferences. Churchill made grand speeches. Roosevelt charmed the room. Stalin just observed. When he spoke, everyone listened. And he usually got exactly what he wanted. Why? Because the more you talk, the more weapons you hand your enemies. Silence isn't awkward. Silence is strategy. Unpredictability is power. Next time you're challenged, pause 3 seconds. Lower your voice. Ask a question instead of defending. Watch the room shift in your favor. Emotion is the enemy of power. Emotional people are easy to trap. They beg, they justify, they regret. You must become the opposite. Replace, "How do I feel?" with, "What does this achieve?" Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Julius Caesar was stabbed 23 times, but the deepest wound came from Brutus, the man he trusted most. Caesar's last words weren't about pain. They were about recognition. You too, my child. Loyalty is a beautiful word until you realize it's used to control you. People are loyal to their interests, not to you. Leverage, not loyalty. Want to be untouchable? Stop building emotional bonds. Start building leverage. Leverage keeps people loyal, even when they hate you. Fear of consequence is more dependable than love. Be the only one who can solve certain problems. Control the resources others need. Build a reputation that makes them think twice before crossing you. When a business partner tried to push me out of my own company, I didn't argue. I quietly built relationships with our biggest clients. When the coup came, I simply let them know I might start something new. Within 48 hours, he was the one forced out. I didn't fight. I activated leverage. The art of response. Betrayal tempts you to react, to show pain, to strike fast. That's exactly what they want. Chicago, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 7 men executed by Al Capone's crew. But Capone? He was in Florida, building his alibi. He didn't react. He responded. Strategically. Precisely. Devastatingly. Impulse is the trap. Emotion is the bait. So next time someone moves against you, act unfazed, even appreciative. Gather intel while they think you're oblivious. Study their weaknesses. Wait until they feel safe. Then strike with no emotion, no drama, just results. The power of invisibility. J. Edgar Hoover never held elected office. Yet for decades, he controlled American politics. How? He had secrets, files, leverage. He rarely had to threaten anyone. His power was implied, whispered about, never confirmed. Visibility invites envy. Attention invites sabotage. But influence without exposure? That is invincibility. Let others wear the crown. You own the kingdom. Let them crave applause while you shape the future from the shadows. That's true power. Let's bring it all together. In a world ruled by emotion, the strategist always wins. The untouchable don't just survive, they thrive. Because they understand. Perception creates reality, so master how you're seen. Silence creates power, so speak less and observe more. Loyalty is transactional, so build leverage, not trust. Reaction is weakness, so respond with purpose. Visibility is vulnerability, so influence from the shadows. 3 years after that investor saved my company, we sold it for 8 figures. At the celebration dinner, he pulled me aside. He said, "I never invested in your business. I invested in you, in how you carried yourself while everything was burning." That's when I knew I was untouchable. And now, so are you.